The sound of Wycliffe's country. DCR, the channel you want to listen to.
My name's Jamie Muddle. I'm the watch manager at Dover Fire Station.
Okay. What does your role entail in the station?
At present, there are 4 watch managers at Dover Fire Station. We basically run the 4 watches, operational watches that respond to incidents at the station, and also manage the day-to-day running at Dover. We're looking at responding to incidents. We manage the training of all the personnel. We also manage safety in the community.
Okay. Can it be a very dangerous job?
Being in the fire service can be dangerous at times, but all our personnel are highly trained in trying to recognise the dangers, and obviously we put every measure that we can possible in place to try and make it as safe as possible during an incident.
How can one get involved with the fire station, like if they want to become a fire service?
Well, at present time, we're not recruiting full-time firefighters, but it's always worth keeping an eye on our website, Kent Fire and Rescue Service website, because as soon as we decide to recruit, the information goes straight onto there. And they've also got a Facebook page and a Twitter page, so that, you know, people who are really, really up to date with the technology can get that beamed straight to them. So it's worth knowing. We are recruiting at the present time some part-time firefighters. These guys will live and work in the communities and give a certain amount of hours availability where they're available to respond to calls. If we need them, we page them on a pager system, and they respond to the local fire station. Currently, the fire stations we're recruiting for are Aylsham, Borough Green, Cliff, Grain and Sandwich.
That's interesting. Obviously there's a level of fitness required for the services. What kind of level is that?
Well,
basically?
On the application it says you need to be physically fit, so you need to be able to have a reasonable level of fitness. And when we do the testing in the medical, this you have to pass what they call a VO2 max test, which measures the ability of your body to use your oxygen efficiently. So you need to be quite aerobically fit, but you also need to have a good level of strength.
Is there an equal opportunity for both males and females?
There is. We have quite a lot of female firefighters in the Kent Fire and Rescue Service, and it's an equal opportunity employer. So anyone that would like to apply is more than welcome to apply to become a firefighter.
That's good to know. Obviously in your job there's obviously a lot of the physical going on, but also behind the scenes there's a lot of paperwork. I mean, I'm guessing, how much kind of paperwork roughly is there? Really?
Well, that depends on your level in the organisation. At a firefighter level, there's not as much. As people progress up through the ranks in the organisation, then obviously level of paperwork does increase somewhat, but it's not too bad.
Not too much paperwork for you to do then?
It's mostly on the computer now anyway.
The brilliance of technology.
That's it, yeah.
Well, we've already had Guy Fawkes night, and I'm guessing that was kind of busy for you guys, kind of a scary night, I'm guessing. It was for me anyway. But there's going to be lots going off around Christmas and New Year, I'm guessing. Is there any advice you can give about keeping safe around Christmas and New Year? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, there's a number of areas that we would always like to concentrate on, particularly as we're coming into the winter and towards Christmas. There's always a time when people like to light candles and tea lights and that sort of thing, so we always like to just remind them to make sure that if they light them, to stay with them and don't leave them unattended. Make sure any tea lights are in proper holders and not just lit in the little tin.
I'm a tea light fiend.
Yeah, don't just light them and leave them in a little tin capsule, because they will quite quickly overheat.
Warm.
That's right, and start a fire. Also, a lot of people have real Christmas trees in their houses, and that's something we always recommend. You keep them well watered so they don't dry up too much, and turn off your Christmas tree lights at night when you go to bed or when you go out, when you're not in the room. Not only does it save you energy, but also if there was anything to go wrong with your lights, you wouldn't set your tree on fire. And there's an interesting little video clip of how a Christmas tree can catch light and cause a whole room to be involved in fire within 1 minute, and that's available via our Facebook page on the
Wow,
Facebook.
that's incredible. Under a minute. Wow.
Yeah, within a minute. If you watch the video, obviously this is radio, so you can't see it, but go online and have a look at the video, and you'd be surprised how quickly the fire could develop.
Brilliant.
It's really important that people have fitted and working smoke alarms.
Yes, yeah, quite a few people nowadays that I know don't have even a fire alarm or a smoke alarm or anything like that. I mean,
it's really important because when you're otherwise engaged in that, you're distracted or you're maybe even asleep, a fire can break out and you would not know that there's a fire burning, and the majority of people die from smoke inhalation and fires. Obviously, a smoke alarm's designed at the earliest signs possible to alert you, so that you can get yourself and your family out of the house safely and call us out. So if there's one thing I'd urge you to do this Christmas, if you haven't already got one, is to get a smoke alarm, get it fitted. You can phone our teams for advice. We have an 0800 number, which I'll give to you at the end of the broadcast.
Okay.
People can phone up and ask for advice on where to fit smoke alarms, and on some occasions we come out and fit them as well.
Do you need one in each room?
We
lying about it. How expensive are they? Less expensive than a new house?
Yes, and that's it. More importantly, a life. I mean, they save a life. Smoke alarms. The minimum sort of recommendation for us is one per floor in the main sort of hallway areas. But if you buy a smoke alarm, there's some useful advice in the leaflets about positioning as well.
And don't forget to test it each week.
Test it once a week by pressing the button. Once a month, just give the sensor a little hoover out so this doesn't get blocked up with any dust.
I'm just saying we can't reiterate how important that is.
It's extremely important. If there's one thing you haven't got this Christmas, get a smoke alarm on your list and get it fitted, because that will wake you up.
Very welcome present.
Three breaths of thick black smoke and you probably won't survive.
wow.
So that will give you advance warning and your family.
How quickly do the services usually respond to a call out? I mean,
we aim to respond to any fire in Kent within 10 minutes, and we meet that on the majority of our times.
brilliant. That's really good. We'd just like to say thank you from the public for the wonderful service you provide, and any of the numbers that would be possible for anyone to call, or email addresses or anything?
Yeah, definitely. Well, as I say, they can look on Facebook or Twitter. And look on our website, which is www.kent.fire-uk.org, or they can go on our 800 number, which is 0800 923 7000, where they will can receive advice over the phone. It's also worth mentioning that it's not just fires we deal with also deal with accidents and that sort of stuff, and we just like to remind people that, as it's getting icy out there, in Kent we respond to over 1,200 road traffic collisions every year that we actually have to cut people out of the cars. Just like to remind people, when it's icy, if you just leave plenty of time for your journey, drive nice and safely, make sure your vehicle's in good condition, and obviously, most importantly, around the party season, don't drink and drive. Because when you were talking about how to get involved with the fire service,
yes.
I'd like to mention the community volunteer scheme that we have, and this is for anyone in the communities around Kent who would like to help us engage with your local community to promote fire safety awareness. And if you feel like that's something you'd like to do, then please feel free to contact us at volunteering@kent.fire-uk.org.
Okay, well, thank you very much for talking to us today.
No problem.
Taking time out.
The sound of Wycliffe's country. DCR, the channel you want to listen to.